Welcome to Cultivating Careers, a podcast for women growing through career change. I am your host, Coach Flo. Here, we share honest stories, practical insights, and cultivate a space to grow because careers, like people, grow in seasons. Today's guest is author Julie Young. Julie has had a 33-year banking career, which took her from teller to operations manager and earned her the Player of the Series award among 3,500 Caribbean employees. Her leadership and mentorship in both Belize and Antigua made a lasting impact. Shortly before retiring, Julie's passion for growth propelled her into Toastmasters, where she helped others through coaching and mentorship. As area director, she chartered three new clubs. During this remarkable season, Julie also fulfilled her lifelong ambition to become a published author, proving it's never too late to pursue your dreams. Recently, Julie discovered a new joy in editing, finding it as rewarding as writing. Another chapter in her inspiring story of lifelong learning and reinvention. Today, Julie would share with us how she transformed her career from doubting to daring. Her story is a powerful example of what happens when you dare to grow something new. By the end of this episode, you will walk away with knowing exactly how to create your own season of growth. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you for having me, Coach Flo. It's a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to sharing my story with you.
And I will look forward to hear all that you wish to share with us today. So let's begin at the moment before this big transformation. Who were you professionally?
I started my career right out of college. I graduated on a Sunday, and the Monday I was working at the bank. It was a wonderful experience. As you mentioned in my introduction, I started out as a teller and I retired as an operations manager. Now, during my career at the bank, I managed my progress carefully. Every 3 years, I would look out for either a promotion or a lateral move or even to understudy someone. The bank had several branches across Belize. We were a country of about 8,800 square miles. And even though men were favored to go and work in remote parts of the country, I was one of the few women who opted to go outside of my comfort zone, to leave my life in the city and to go out and work in different areas in Belize. I was also a very avid reader during my youth and always dreamed of becoming a published author. So, as an operations manager in Antigua, I received the highest award, the highest recognition given to employees, the Player of the Series award, which recognizes excellence in the workplace. But at this time, it was also a period of significant change in the banking industry. Automation was on fire. Process improvement was the name of the game. And it turned out that my department of about 28 persons dwindled to only 10. And in essence, my role became redundant. And that's when the season of change began. I did get the opportunity to retrain in another sector. But after 33 years, like roots of an old tree, I felt a familiar longing in my spirit. I knew my banking career was ending. Now, something wonderful happened to me about 2 years before my career came to an end. I found Toastmasters. And a small group of us came together and we charted the first club in Antigua. I found the creative outlet that I was looking for. And I often tell people Toastmasters saved me. So, developing leadership skills in a volunteer organization was a wonderful way to start transitioning out of the traditional workplace into a different environment. At this time, I still had my plans, still thinking about my book that I wanted to write so badly, but it was on the back burner, like a lot of dreams in this life. I had great plans. After I made a decision that I was going to retire, had great plans for this season of my life. And I eagerly retired, knowing that Toastmasters would help me to keep my community alive and to make new friends in a different environment. And
Oh,
I would finally get to write my book. But life has a way of interrupting and happening and causing us to put our dreams aside. So that's what happened to me
mm,
at that moment. So it was
okay.
dreams deferred at that time.
All right. So you put writing this book on pause, even though you were at the right point in your career. You were
Feeling,
ready to retire, looking at
yes,
post-retirement life, and then you said dreams deferred. So share with us, what was that prompted you, if you wish to share, that made you defer that dream that seemed so in reach?
portrait, yes. It was a family situation where one of
Mm,
my family members became ill. She was diagnosed with cancer. And that took all my focus and all my energy. And at that time,
mm,
I just could not find the bandwidth to start looking at the book. So it was deferred for a while. Yes. After the retirement.
okay. So that seems as though it weighed on you as it would have, I can only imagine. So, what propelled you after you would have dealt with such a weighty life event to really say,
Mhm.
listen, Julie, now is the time?
Okay. Well, once my family member got out of treatment and everything was fine, that's when I was able to sit down and think about what I wanted to write about, what information I wanted to share, and what little nuggets I wanted to give to the world. And one of the things
Mm,
that I noticed in my banking career is that you have the 20% who are sometimes below standard. Then you have that big group in the middle, the 70%, who are getting by. They are achieving the deliverables, but they're not really excelling. Then you have a 10% that they're really working well and they are high flyers and high performers. My
mm-hmm.
target for the target audience that I really wanted to help was that 70% in the middle who was just getting by. So I wanted to share with them some of my insights and some of the things I think they can do to push their career forward. One of the things that I found out when I came to Antigua from Belize is that a lot of persons were performing the same roles for many years, 8, 9, 10 years in the same position and they did not really have a clear plan how to move forward, how to get a promotion. And I wanted to help persons to develop the skills that will help them to get a promotion. But I was looking at this group of persons who were getting by, but not really excelling in the job. So that's when I looked at all the skills that I think would be helpful and make the most impact, and that's what my book was based upon.
Wow, I can definitely see how that book benefited all those who read it. Now, you are fully embracing this identity, this new identity as an author, but you would have been a bank employee for 30 something years, were there any bits of self doubt as you embrace this new identity?
Well, first of all, transitioning from the workplace and going on retirement, like I said before, the offer was there for me to be retrained and to try something new within the same organization. But the first sign I had that it was time to move on was the boredom, of course. I was
Mm,
feeling restless. I wanted to do anything but my assigned duties. I was always looking for a creative outlet to spark my day. I even designed a coaching program for my team members so that I could help them, but the restlessness persisted. In fact, when District 81 asked me to be the conference chair, I was so excited because it gave me something to distract me from my duties at work. So it
mhm,
wasn't any great or dramatic moment, but I must say that every Monday morning I felt this low grade anxiety. And that was a big giveaway that I needed to do something to ignite the fire within once again.
mm.
But as you mentioned, there is always the self doubt. And I had to remind myself that maybe I had to step back and look at the bigger picture and tell myself that what is the worst case scenario? If I leave and I jumped into the future with no real plan about what I'm going to do, what is the worst thing that can happen? And then from there, I could have backtracked and said, okay, even if the very worst thing happened, I will be okay. I will be fine. So it's now time for me to move on.
How did that look on a day-to-day basis? Was there mantras? Were there daily practices that you would have implemented?
Yes, absolutely. There were mantras and then there were daily practices and things that I told myself that one of the things that I remember hanging on to was that I attended a workshop in Barbados a few years ago where we were taught neuro linguistic programming. And I was taught how
Mm,
to break a board with my bare hands. And someone showed me the technique. I followed it. And then I was able to succeed in breaking that board. And I always remember that moment and believe that I can do anything with the right coaching and the right information. So it was just a matter of deciding what it is that I wanted to do with my future and then do the research and reach out to persons, get the help that I think I might need and go from there.
mm.
So the big part was about deciding what it is that I want to do and believing in yourself and knowing that everything is figure outable. That's another book that I love. So yes, that's that the self-doubt, I always keep in mind that I can find ways and find help and do anything that I would like to do.
Okay, just repeat that book one more time for us.
Oh, everything is figure outable.
Oh, I have heard of that book by Marie Folio.
Yes. That's the one.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And I love that phrase too. Everything is figure outable. It just seems
Yes.
so
Yes.
practical and easy to convince
Yes.
yourself, listen, I can find a way. It may not be five-star excellence the first time you try it, but it gives you the motivation to just try. And then you learn something and you improve on it. Okay, I love that. Thanks for sharing that with us, Julie. So let's
Okay.
focus on the season that you're in now. What surprised you the most about designing a career around your life, not the other way around?
What surprised me is the will inside that I didn't even know I have. It's like a desire to not settle for anything less, than what I feel like I deserve and should be doing. I have seen jobs online, data entry, or you could be a virtual assistant, but none of those things appeal to me. And I don't want to sell out ever again and find myself doing things that I don't enjoy, that don't light my fire, that don't float my boat. I don't want to be engaged in any of those things. But to arrive at that point, I really had to have a change in mindset. I had to recognize that once you go on a pension, you only receive 40% of what you are used to earning. There are
Mm,
things like I have retired now for over 10 years. So there are things like inflation as the years go by. So you really have to be careful about managing your finances. I can't eat out. I must cook. I can't eat out as much as I would like to. Can't take as many vacations. All those things must be carefully managed. And it's difficult when you are on that lower of an income. It's difficult to even save for emergencies. But you have to this life is not for everybody. Some people say they get
mhm.
excited by making money. But for me, I get excited of my freedom to do whatever it is that I want to do, to interact with whomever I want to, and to have that choice. So that's what excites me. And that's why I am able to look at my life and decide where I want to put my resources, where I want to spend my time. And that is the most valuable thing to me.
I love that. Freedom of choice.
Yes.
Ah, so having gone through all of those experiences, what myth about a career change do you now completely reject? What should us midlife career changers who are considering it and doubting ourselves, what should we totally reject?
Well, the myth that I think about the most and what I used to believe that 50, 55, you are old. You need to fold up and go home. One time in the bank, I saw the HR manager hire a guy who was close to 50 to do IT. And I kept
Mhm.
wondering how they could hire somebody so old to do technology duties. I did not agree with that hiring. And then I had a mindset shift when I came to Antigua and I saw persons driving in their 70s. And it was a culture shift for me in my mind. So I think the number one myth is never to believe, is stop believing you're too old. I attended a white coat ceremony on Saturday and this gentleman, who was at least 70 years old, he's a retired dentist, and he decided he wanted to be a medical doctor. And he was there receiving his white coat. So I think that even if you're in your late 50s, your 60s, your 70s, don't for a minute believe that you are too old.
Wow. I would have loved to have been there to see that ceremony.
Mhm.
It sounds
Yeah,
so inspiring.
it was.
But
It
what
was.
part of your identity feels the most authentic in this season?
The part of my identity that has really evolved is my values and how I view life now and what I consider to be important. If disrespect is on the table, I am through the door. I am so true to myself now that I make sure that I only connect and relate to people who I trust and who have shown me that they are trustworthy. There is another fabulous book, The Art of Human Nature, and that one gives me insights into what to look for, how to know if somebody is genuine or not. And in Toastmasters, that's my favorite community these days. I have found so many wonderful persons who I trust and I consider them my friends. And that is important to me. So my values have definitely evolved and I stay true to what I believe to be the right and do the right things. I stay true to that.
Okay, I love that. Focus on values and being
Yes.
true to yourself. So,
Yes.
what does success look like for you now? And how is that different from what you were as a professional within the banking arena?
Years ago, success was all about material things. I had a 3,800 square foot home, the designer bags, the shoes, the clothes, the unnecessary purchases, all the vacations, and things that I really did not need and did not feel feed my soul. Now I've gotten rid of all of that. I've given it all away. I live in a modest home. I drive a very old vehicle and I have never been more content. I have zero
Mm.
debt. I live a debt free life and I've done so for over 10 years. And I don't ever want to go back to wondering if I can pay a bill or anything like that. But I had to make that decision that I was going to live this way. I call it the minimalist lifestyle, and
Mhm.
where you don't waste your money on foolishness that don't bring anything to your life. So that has been the definition of success for me now. That's my definition now. Peace of mind, joy in whatever it is I am doing, good friends, sometimes good food.
For me, always good food. All right, Julie, it's definitely been a pleasure having this conversation. So, as we wrap up, we're going to just reflect with some rapid fire questions. So, it's time for garden shorts. Quick answers,
Okay.
no overthinking.
Okay.
Name one inner skill every mid-life professional must cultivate.
I believe you must cultivate resilience. No matter how hard it gets, no matter what challenges you face, stop praying for your problems to go away. Embrace them. Don't ask for your life to be one beautiful pink bow. Just embrace it and ask for next steps and move on. Embrace your problems.
Okay. Resilience and embrace your problems. All right. One
Yes.
external measure of success you stopped chasing.
I have absolutely stopped chasing external validation. It doesn't matter what
Mm,
you think about me and my life. That is fine. I am so happy. It doesn't bother me. So, no more external validations. Just me being
love
me
that.
doing my thing. Yes.
All right. Your career in one word, then and now.
Stressful and now soul filling.
Woo! Just hearing that brings me so much joy on your behalf.
Thank you.
Uh, all right. One boundary that protected your growth.
The number one boundary for me is respect.
Mm,
If respect is off the table, I am through the door. So treat me with respect and I am good. I am here for you.
all right. RESPCT.
Yes.
What does it mean to create your own season of growth?
You must be willing. You must be willing to examine how you feel as you move through your day and be honest about what makes you happy and fulfilled. And that will guide you.
Okay. That speaks to being present in every moment. Because as you
Yes.
say, sometimes you do things if you're in a job for 5, 6, 7 years, you do it by rote. You could probably drive to work with your eyes closed, walk to your desk,
Hmm.
and you're just doing everything by rote. But I really like that. Examining how
Yeah.
you feel requires you to be
Yes.
fully
Pay
present in each
attention.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Julie, it has definitely been a pleasure speaking to you. Before we close, I don't know if you wish to plug your book. Maybe we can find it on Amazon or on a website somewhere if you wish to.
Well, I would like to plug the books that I have been editing, that I edited over the last year. And it's on Amazon and it's called The Vulnerability Gene by Nicole
Mm,
Carter.
the vulnerability gene
By Nicole Carter, yes.
by Nicole Carter. Okay. I will definitely look for it on Amazon and link it in the show notes of this episode. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Julie,
much.
chatting with us. It was definitely a pleasure having you here on Cultivating Careers podcast.
Thank you for inviting me. It was delightful.
So, listeners, you've enjoyed that conversation with author Julie Young. Now, let's root this episode into three takeaway lessons. One, cultivate resilience by embracing your problems. Julie reminded us over and over, don't run away from your problems. Secondly, stop chasing external validation. How other people feel about your choices, career wise or otherwise, is not your business. And finally, Julie encouraged us to decide what we want to do and believe in ourselves. She even shared the resource of the book Everything is Figure Outable, written by Marie Forleo. Now, let's turn those lessons into action. Your courageous next step for this week is to take some time to examine how you feel as you move throughout your day. Maybe you can set an alarm every hour to just pause for 1 minute and just be present with yourself. Pay attention to how you feel. Because if you are in a job that is frustrating you, is it just that job? Is it certain aspects of your job? Is it the culture of the organization? Is it even the location? Maybe it's the commute to and from work. Just take some time to be present. And if you feel so inclined, journal about it. Maybe writing will help you get clarity on exactly how you feel. And in closing, I want to share that wonderful thought that Julie shared with us. She encouraged us to stop believing that we are too old to do anything our heart desires. So, your Bloom Forward affirmation for this week is I am never too old to cultivate the career of my dreams. That Bloom Forward affirmation again I am never too old to cultivate the career of my dreams. Thank you for spending this time with me and author Julie Young. Remember, your career is a garden. Plant with purpose, prune with care, and if you want it to grow, you have to cultivate it. See you next time.